When being capable becomes so familiar that receiving support starts to feel uncomfortable. There are some phrases that sound strong when we say them. And one of them is this: I don't need anyone. For some people, it's a declaration of freedom. For others, it's a badge of honor. And for many women, it's a sentence built from experience. Maybe life taught us to rely on ourselves. Maybe help wasn't available when we needed it. Maybe we learned that if something was going to get done, we'd have to do it ourselves. So we became capable, resourceful, independent. And, those are really wonderful qualities. But what happens when independence becomes so familiar that receiving support feels harder than carrying or doing everything ourselves? I don't think most independent women wake up one morning and decide to become independent. Usually life trains us. Responsibilities appear. People depend on us. Problems need solving. Unexpected situations come up. And over time, we develop a remarkable ability to figure things out. We become the person that others call, the person who manages, the person who copes, the person who keeps on moving. And that's something worth respecting, because independence isn't usually arrogance. It's often resilience. But every strength has a shadow side. A strength used well becomes an asset. A strength used all the time can become a limitation. The trap is this: eventually we stop asking whether we can do something ourselves, and we simply assume that we should. And those are very different questions. Can I do this all by myself? Probably. Should I do this all by myself? Well, maybe not. Independent people often have a very high capacity for responsibility. The problem is that capacity can put a mask on exhaustion. Some of us are much better at giving help than receiving it. We're generous. We're supportive. We're available. But when someone offers help to us, we hesitate. We decline. We explain why we're fine. We insist that we've got it handled. Sound familiar? This isn't because we don't appreciate the offer. It's because accepting help can feel strangely uncomfortable and even unfamiliar. Sometimes it can even feel vulnerable. And vulnerability isn't always easy for people who have spent years being the strong one. This is where I think an important distinction matters. Independence and isolation are not the same thing. Being independent means I can stand on my own 2 feet. Being isolated means I believe that I must. One is a strength, and the other can become a burden. Human beings were never designed to do life entirely alone. We're wired for connection, for support, for community, for friendship, shared experiences, and acknowledging that doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. Perhaps one of the unexpected lessons in this stage of life is that receiving can require as much courage as giving. Receiving help, receiving kindness, support, receiving love, receiving care. For some of us, that's actually the harder skill, because it asks us to lower our guard just enough to let someone contribute to us. And that can feel risky. especially if we've been disappointed before. Maybe strength isn't proving we can do everything ourselves. Maybe strength is knowing when we don't have to. Maybe strength is allowing room for others, allowing room for support and connection, allowing room for partnership and friendship, and for people who genuinely want to walk beside us. Not because we need rescuing, but because life is often richer when it isn't done alone, when it isn't done in isolation. I still value independence very much. I suspect many of you do too. But I wonder if the next chapter isn't about becoming less independent, but maybe it's about becoming more open, open to support, open to connection, open to the possibility that being capable and being connected can exist at the same time. My new favorite saying, two things can be true at the same time. Perhaps the goal was never to prove that we don't need anyone. Perhaps the goal is learning that we don't have to do everything alone. And that's a very different thing. If this conversation meant something to you, if it spoke to you, you might want to watch How Do We Build a Life Together When We Already Have One? Because these ideas are closely connected together. And so that's all I've got for you today. And as always, be kind to yourself and to those around you. Take care and bye for now.